Yo guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back. This is your guy AssDave, and today we're gonna talk about the new jungle rotation for Harith. This jungle rotation will allow you to get a level 4 as fast as you possibly can, even when you're playing a solo queue. And we're going to talk about all the stuff that you need to pay attention to over the course of the game. So starting off the game, you want to go ahead and clear the mid wave without buying the jungle item. This is one very important element in order to ensure you reach level 4 after you take some core jungle camps like the buffs. So starting off the game, you can see that our mid laner was just killed right away, and I don't really have a tank because Atlas was absolutely going AFK, and he has no idea since this is the beginning of the season and a lot of new players are surfacing to the competitive rank. But remember, your priority job is to clear that wave and then try to see if there is a river crab on the side of your river, right? If it's not, just go to the jungle. If it's on the side of the blue side, for example, go ahead and take that for the experience, for the gold, also for the rotation and regeneration, and then go ahead and move to your jungle and start taking your buff. It's very important that your support buys roam right away, because right now in the current meta, there's no 2 support roam anymore. That's why I recommend if you play trio, make sure you have a mid lane, a jungle, and a tank who roam with you to help you jungle clear. In this scenario, the Zas has no idea what he's doing. He's absolutely lost it. He's coming over here taking the experience from the jungler, which resulted in a delay of my level 4. But since I'm already quite far ahead, I took the mid wave with Zask dead. So I took all the experience for myself, which gave me a little experience boost. But ideally, you want to be able to take the jungle experience by yourself. If the Zask understand the meta, understand a little bit of rotation, or watch our videos, he will know not to take experience from the jungler, because it's really important for the jungler to get to level 4 over level 4 and have the experience lead over the opponent, and then I can rotate and be very effective. Now, where do you want to rotate right after you clear the jungle? Really depends on where do you see an opening. Do you see an opening on the bottom side that's closest to you, or do you see that's more important for you to give more pressure to your side, to your marksman lane, to help him out, help her out, so she or he can farm a little bit faster? It's really based on your preference, who you see is gonna carry the game a little bit more late game. Because right now, the most junglers in the game are mainly to carry the early to mid game. You can see right here, right after we clear the bottom camp, we're going to rotate to mid and defend the mid tower. We find a successful kill number 1. After Roger run away, there's no need to pursue that kill any further. Just go ahead and then try to clear the remaining waves under the tower and chase the fleeting enemy. But you don't have to chase it if it's not safe. Remember, your farm and the pace of the game is most important as a jungler. Okay, so when there's objective coming up, like Turtle, when there's objective coming out, like million waves around the lanes, it's very important for a jungler to stay focused and then go for those objectives, because when you folks stay focused on the objectives, you force enemy team to play passive. You force enemy team to come to you rather than you pursue them. Now in this scenario, our teammates were trying to start a turtle, but I don't really have retribution, so I told them to retreat and wait for me to take the blue buff. Also, without a blue buff, without a retribution, Harith is just quite useless in the team fight. It gets really risky. If you have the teammate that understand objective over kills, they will back off from the team fights. But if they don't, you want to stay focused on your objectives. Don't get distracted and go to the team fight and lose the team fight and end up losing more objectives. So over here, I have retribution again. You want to come in here, get your skills ready, and jump into the team fight and help out your team. Make sure you attack enemy heroes before objective when the objective is in risk. If they try to contest it, you want to let the enemy have the aggro of the monsters, have the turtle, have the lord. Meanwhile, you try to hit them. And if they keep on forcing it, save your retribution for the last execution, right? Save the retribution to execute a buff if necessary, if they force the objective. But if they don't force the objective, just make sure that you're always attacking enemy hero first before the objective, if they're contesting the objectives, if they try to steal it. So if the enemy team coming in for trouble, make sure to dash away. Do not be a hero, because in a lot of scenarios, especially you're alone and enemy have a Kufra who's focusing on you, it's very important for you to understand that you do not want to be Rambo. Okay, it's much better, much more beneficial in the long run to win more games steadily than to show off and possibly lose your momentum, lose your pace, and lose your control of the game. It's like a poker game, right? You can win one time, but what you really want to do is win overall, like the whole night. A lot of people get over their head and really want to show off. It might cost you the game. And a lot of times you just want to stay cool-headed, lose some small battles to win the bigger game. So over here, when you see your team in trouble, you know the Kufra is kind of low. So this gives you the opportunity to give you the signal that you can go in and do whatever you want, because they don't really have a counter for you. This is when you dash around like crazy, show your skills, because your team is already in, right? When your team issues ultimatum, when your team issues that the signal that they're ready, go ahead and jump into team fight. But right after that, make sure when you have the lead, kill the enemy team, look for objectives like million towers, look for objectives like the enemy jungle. But do remember what we talked about. If they try to contest the objective, try to hit enemy heroes first, unless the buff, you can just one-shot with retreat. Because a lot of jungler in the game, especially a lot of assassins, including Harith, after they get a certain amount of items, you can use skill 2, skill 1 with retreat. You can just basically execute the buff. So it's very, very important for you to focus on whichever you think is easier to kill. If the buff is full HP and you can't do a lot of damage in the early game, make sure to focus on the enemy hero first to get them away, get them low. So over here, you can see enemy team try to kill me. Now, wherever carefully you dash around the Kufa's ball, make sure his ball is not connecting on top of you. This is how you play around a counter. Right after you win a team fight, remember to look around the minimap and see what objectives can you take advantage of leveraging this win. Okay, it's very important for you to not to go back to your jungle and farm, but instead look for neutral objectives on the minimap, see what you can take now since the enemy team have some casualties. It's a very, very important practice or habit for any junglers. That's why you see some junglers, if they kill your team, they will go invade your jungle, right? They will take all the resources, and when you get up from the black and white screen, you will find our entire jungle is cleared out. There's nothing left for you to farm, and they just extend the lead over and over again. That's one of the most annoying things for you to deal with. But you see a lot of other junglers who don't really do that. After they win a team fight, they go back to their own jungle and farm. So remember, if you have the opportunity to win against enemy team, take out some casualties on enemy side, take advantage of it and look for the mini-map objectives or neutral objectives like the turtle, like the enemy buffs, or the enemy turrets. Now, we're trying to invade an enemy red buff. You can see to try to respond to it. Don't rush the buff. Try to use the opportunity, bait them in, because they want to hit you. They want to protect their buff. So use the opportunity when they're getting closer to you to hit them, to get them low, to scare them away. If they commit like a stupid ass, just dumbass, you can then kill them. But if they don't commit to try to kill you, you take the objective, steal a win. And right afterwards, you want to go ahead and jump into a team fight right away because you already have a lot of gold lead, and you want to leverage this gold lead to turn into a bigger advantage to force more objectives because the mid-lane waves coming in. You want to poke the enemy low to get them away and start focusing on the objectives. And again, I know I'm repeating myself here, but if you look at objectives, if you're trying to take down certain things that might be aggressive to you, like the enemy tower, you really have to weigh, should I take down the tower now, or should I focus on using this tower as a bait to kill enemy team? Right? In this case, you saw the enemy tower was kind of low. You could have just taken it down if I forced myself to auto-attack the turret. But instead, I decided to protect the Zask and using everything I got on the enemy Kufra and enemy Roger and taking the tower eventually. So I didn't lose anything, at the same time protecting my teammates and get some kills on top of it. But if enemy team decided to take the team fight towards you because you were focusing on their objectives, you're invading their jungle or taking their towers, make sure you fight back, okay? Fight aggressively back, because at this point, you're so far ahead. Do not be a wimp. If they try to come to you, kill the fuck out of them. All right, this only extends your lead and further extend the snowball to a point where they cannot return. And right after you win the team fight, remember what we talked about, go back to the mini map and see what is available, what you can take. In this case, I decided to take the turtle. A lot of people choose not to. You can also just wait for 9 minutes and 10 seconds into the game where turtle will turn into a lord, because then you can get an early lord. Personally, I prefer to take the turtle first because I really like the turtle shield. But if you're taking the Lord early, it's your preference, go right ahead. No one's stopping you. The advantage of me taking the Lord a little bit delayed is when the Lord comes up around 11 minutes, it will have the extra skills. It will have the skill that charges towards the tower, which does a lot of damage to enemy turrets, which kind of ensure your victory, or at least 1 or 2 high ground towers, which give you this huge advantage. Now, a very important note that you have to know is once your team is engaging in, you want to follow them up, especially mid to late game. You do not want to travel alone. Always follow your tank and your mid laner. Be the 1-4 split. Once your fighter who's split pushing side lane, you as a jungler must always stay with the team. Okay, it's very, very important. See, right now we're taking the bottom high ground tower, and once the mid laner, enemy mid laner decided to defend it, I use the tower as a bait, pretending I'm gonna hit the tower, and then when I see the opportunity, I instantly jump the enemy mid laner. Despite Kufa jumping and try to intervening the kill, it wouldn't matter because we're way too far ahead at this point, and if I bait somebody in with a favorable position for me, I can kill them in an instant. So right after that, you can go for the dubs or you can have some fun. It's really up to you. If you're doing a challenge, you get 20 kills. But for me, there's no reason for me to wait. I just decided to go ahead and end the game right away. If you enjoyed today's episode of Rotation Guide for Harith, make sure to drop the like, subscribe, and turn that bell on to all notification bells. With that, AssDave signing off. See you guys next time.
Just for the thrill of it, nothing counterfeit with you, just the thrill.